Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to WatchYouWant.com. Thanks for logging on. In fact, I'm really glad you could join me today because we get to experience Ulysse Nardin's heavy metal masterpiece together. This is the 2007 Macho Palladium. And before I get too deep into this, let me explain where this watch came from. First and foremost, in 2006, Ulysse Nardin celebrated its 160th anniversary, and to do so it launched the UN 160 commemorative model. Now, this watch was only issued in precious metal, and it was a surprisingly small production run for a watch with a bespoke case and bracelet. And to be perfectly honest, a lot of people were wondering how they'd get mileage out of that unique case, which featured both Audemars Piguet millinery-esque oval form that was ergonomically shaped to conform to the wrist, but also cambered crystal, front and back, curved with the curvature of the case. Again, just tremendous tooling costs and investments. And the way Ulysse Nardin rationalized it was by keeping the case, the bracelet, and the crystals alive in the Macho Palladium line. To make it special in its own right, UN did something that I have not seen in any other luxury watch. They crafted the entire case, they crafted the entire bracelet and clasp out of 950, 95% pure palladium. This is a material that's a member of the platinum family. Like platinum, it's non-allergenic. It's non-reactive with the skin. It'll never tarnish. It'll never corrode. It's incredibly pure. When you get palladium or platinum, you're getting far more of that special metal than you get. 18 karat gold is only 75% pure. Platinum and palladium, 95%. It is incredibly hard to work. And, as I may have alluded earlier, it is an incredibly heavy metal. Hold this in the hand, and the sensation is completely indistinguishable from platinum. Give this to your friends, ask them to hold it. Guess what it is? They'll say platinum. This watch gleams and shines. It takes a polish and a brush exactly like its metallic cousin, and the impression is just as impressive, just as unique, maybe more so, because platinum, compared to palladium, is downright common. If you wear this to the office, you are guaranteed to have the only palladium watch. Not just in your office, not just on your floor, but probably within 10 city blocks. I don't care if you're in downtown Manhattan. And this watch is a stunner. That UN 160 case was outrageous when it came out. Again, we're used to watches that are a little bit ovalish. They sit nicely on the wrist. They avoid the wrist bone so they don't have that cockeyed stance on a smaller wrist. Even though this watch is 40 by 43 millimeters, it sits very comfortably even on my 6-inch wrist, so it'll sit well on just about any guy's wrist. But the bottom line is, the feel is what defines it, and the look is outstanding. Again, cambered sapphire crystals front and back. No one does this. It actually wraps along the profile of the case. The case itself actually conforms to that curvature of the wrist, not just at the lugs, but from end to end. This is an incredibly sculpted form, polished on the bezel, brushed on its flanks, with a UN-signed blue Cabochon-style capped crown, and you can see on the back, straight-grained like a movement base plate. This is the UN caliber 278/70 used here, also known as the highest grade of the ETA 2892A2. This is a chronometer grade movement, so in addition to fine finish and exotic metal, you get a COSC Swiss chronometer certified level of accuracy. This watch has been evaluated by the third parties of the COSC, and it's passed 2 weeks of stringent testing in 6 positions against several temperatures. That's a little sign of integrity and quality that I like to see in a high-end watch, and it's rare in a truly top-of-the-line watch because, to be honest, I think a lot of high-end watchmakers are afraid to certify their watches, lest they fail to live up to the standards set by companies like Rolex and Omega. The bottom line is, UN's not afraid to play, and you have to pay to play. Certification costs money, and UN goes that extra mile in building its watches. Now, the bracelet is just as impressive as the case. You can see that it's alternately polished. The tops of the lugs on the flanks, it's a 3-link design. From side to side, you have polish, brushing, polish, and then the flanks, the very flanks, are also brushed. So you have a tremendous progression from brush to polish to brush to polish to brush. Beautifully done, completely brushed on the underside. This is an intelligently designed, beautifully finished, completely realized vision of an innovative Swiss watch. Now, the dial is just as special. Again, the hands, the numerals, and the indexes are all in palladium, but there's a little bit more visual intrigue going on here because in the middle you have a soleil pattern that is sunburst blue metallic dial, another sunburst blue metallic subdial right here with an integral date, a small seconds hand. These sword-shaped hands right here are beautifully loomed, and there's a sort of modified railroad or sector track that traces the inside of the dial. The dial has tremendous articulation with raised applied numerals, and then it has a stepped design where it steps down from lacquered black to sunburst blue. So there are actually 3 levels of this dial, 4 if you count the hands, from the hands to the numerals, from the numerals to the black base, from the black base to the soleil sunburst blue trough. This is gorgeous to behold, and there is a magnifier over the date, a separate crystal within a crystal. Again, a lot of visual interest. I'm going to move the hands to display what is one of the most unique power reserve indicators I have ever seen at 12 o'clock. Now, UN incorporated a patented design that it actually pioneered in its 19th century pocket watches, and what happens is when you wind this power reserve, the disc bearing the scale actually moves under the hand until the hand indicates fully wound. Once the disc stops moving and you start wearing the watch, then the hand traces the discharge of the watch's power reserve. So in time, the hand and the scale actually move relative to each other and they migrate around their little circle. Just a little visual trick that's fun, clever, and just characteristic of the thought that UN put into every facet of this Ulysse Nardin Macho Palladium on bracelet with the blue sunburst within a black lacquered dial. This is probably the most attractive variant of this watch. There are several with a light dial, with a black dial, a variant on a strap, a variant on the bracelet. But if you're going to go palladium, go whole hog. Get the whole setup, because this watch on the wrist, it doesn't just feel like $1,000,000. It looks like it. Show it to your friends and make sure to give them some palm time, because this thing is a weight routine in and of itself. Available with full boxes, papers, all provenance documentation from watchyouwant.com. We are the luxury pre-owned watch leaders, and this UN Macho Palladium with bracelet is available in high-res imagery on our website. Check it out, check out its accessories, and check out our entire inventory. I'm confident that when you see this unique, beautifully conceived and beautifully realized Ulysse Nardin, you will know it is the watch you want.